Hey guys, another live video from us interview with Dr. Jeff Trigo. He has a book out called To Heal the Nation. Okay. He has been around, exactly, there it is. He has been around for a long time in chiropractic. Even as a child, his father was a chiropractor. He saw people getting adjusted when he was a kid. He started adjusting people very young, even before he got to school. Phenomenal. I love it. Okay. He's very passionate to help people live a better quality of life. That's our plan here, right? As chiropractors, as myself too, as my colleague. And after years of helping people as a licensed chiropractor, Ned's written a book called To Heal a Nation. Okay. He wants to help people understand how to help their body mentally, physically, and spiritually. If you've ever wondered how about chiropractic history to the present, it's going to help you understand that aspect of it, to understand what a chiropractor can do, what it can't do, also understand exactly how your overall life can get better and stay better through his book, again, To Heal the Nation. So, Dr. Trigo, take over for me too. Give me your background. Tell me why you want to, what happened, why you want to make this book part of your life and part of chiropractic's life.
Well, thank you for the introduction and having me on your show. As you said, yes, I am a second generation chiropractor, and so I grew up getting adjusted.
Yes.
Me and my siblings, and I remember in eighth grade being pulled out of line. My whole eighth grade class was in line getting vaccinated, and I was pulled out of class. I was pulled out of the line by the nurse and says, "Here, you go over here. You're not getting this." I go, "Well, why?" I go, how come all my friends are getting it and not me? Oh, your dad's a doctor and he opted out of this. I'm like, well, he's a chiropractor. He goes, yeah, you discussed this with him. So I went home. I'm like, hey, Dad, what's going on? And he started explaining to me what an amazing God we have and how he divinely designed us to thrive in our environment and how we have everything we need to be healthy and how we can boost our natural immunity with proper food, nutrition, and most importantly, taking care of our spine and make sure our master system slash the nerves aren't being impinged and shut down. And so I started learning in eighth grade and on the power of the chiropractic adjustment. So I was adjusted as a baby and I always was well, but then I started really learning in eighth grade. And then I remember him coming home from work and he'd grab my sister and lay her down on a table and, Jeff, do this right here. And he would like maybe do a prone dumb push move on T1 or something. And no, drop your elbow faster. Oh, okay, thank you. And I adjusted my dad. Wow, I just adjusted my dad. And then he would show me how to hold the carver bridge and get me right here between the shoulder blades. And it's like, no, faster, more speed, and like a little deeper. Oh, good one, Jeff. Thanks, I appreciate it. And I like, wow, well, why should it stop then? Why should it stop there? I had neighbors, I had cousins, I had, you know,
Yeah.
I was adjusting everybody for years, and then finally I decided, you know what, let's do it with a license and actually make a living on it. And went to school in the '90s, and graduated 25 years ago, and I've been helping thousands and thousands of people get back to wellness naturally, drug free, in a holistic way by adjusting the bone off the nerve, giving them back joint motion and nerve supply, and making sure their diet and the nutrition was solid to help support the adjustment.
It's amazing when we talk about someone's quality of life, right? The adjustment can start that process. I feel a little bit better. Now, what else can I do? I can feel better. Now, what else can I can do? You're sharing the message of quality of life, not just chiropractic, which is phenomenal.
I think I hammer it so many times in the book repetitively because it's been said it takes 7 times to really master something or 7 times to really get it down. Well, I've mentioned in the book hundreds of different examples and analogies. I mean, are you going to brush your teeth only when you have a cavity? Of course not. You're going to brush your teeth regularly. And the dentist hit a home run with that. They hit a home run with this prevention and to brush your teeth regularly and you won't get a cavity. Well, I think
Mhm.
chiropractors have kind of dropped the bomb a little bit, lacking that patient education where if you actually stayed adjusted, you'd be coming in for a wellness visit, not because of pain or because of numbness or because of vertigo or thyroid disease or some crazy symptom that you don't even know is associated with the spine. I like that I have a wellness practice. Patients come in feeling well and they leave feeling well. At first they come in hurting,
Yeah.
and sometimes I'm their last resort. I wish I was their
Mhm.
first resort. I come in sometimes as their last resort, but then the education starts. And, quite frankly, I can't teach every single patient everything I wish they knew. That's why I wrote the book. This is
Good.
a chiropractic dream right here. This is what all chiropractors wish the patient knew about regular maintenance, about spinal neglect. Quotes from our founding, the D.D. Palmer quotes and Clarence Gonstead quotes and Freddie Barge and the Gonstead and just so many greats before us, paving the path. And this book is loaded with inspiration, quotes, knowledge to really help anybody get a handle on their health and take charge and not be a victim, but be a champion.
You're almost helping chiropractors, for one, become better leaders in their community, along with patient or people that don't know about chiropractic, get them to understand the basics of how we can help people, and then some. You're expanding your practice per se into hundreds and thousands of people all over the world, not just your community. Correct?
Yeah, the book, my goal is not just to see 5-star ratings on Amazon and how much they love the book. That's not my goal. My goal is to see somebody from a town I don't know
Mm-hmm.
give a praise to a chiropractor I don't know because they read the book, they found out how helpful chiropractic is,
Yep. Mm-hmm.
and they dropped the fear of this kung fu image in their mind, and they realize that chiropractic is very accurate, very gentle, very scientific, and very essential for the life force to flow through our brain, spinal cord, and nerves. We'll get into that later, but I want to see testimonials of somebody in a different state going to a chiropractor and saying, because of the book, I had no fear. I went to so-and-so doctor, and now I can provide for my family and I can go to work. I don't have my migraines anymore. And my hand's no longer numb. My back's no longer giving me shooting sciatica, and I can bend over and tie my own shoe. And those are the testimonials I'm looking forward to because the world needs more wellness, not more medicine.
Well, you're breaking down that fear to give them a chance to get better care, right? Better a hope for their problems. Like you said, every day we have people come to our office and going, "I came to you because I was desperate. The doctors weren't helping me. I was a bunch of medications. My quality of life was decreased. I haven't left my house in so many weeks. My family, I can't spend time with my family. Their mental and physical life is just down the tubes. Can we get to someone like you said that is not in their area that can get them better by them understanding this field, this chiropractic field can give me hope I didn't know about. Will your medical doctor tell you about a chiropractor? No, they won't. They'll tell you negative parts about chiropractic sometimes more than positive, but it's up to us to share the message more. What do you think philosophy in the sense? First of all, I mean, what is the difference between philosophy and science of chiropractic? To take a step back.
Well, the science is all the biology, the neurology, the biochemistry, the dissection lab, the histology, the embryology, the endocrinology, the knowing the hormonal, and I just knowing how the body works and the
Mhm.
chemistry and the nutrition and everything. That's your science, passing the class. But the art that's the application of the adjustment. And artists continue to get well for their
Mhm.
whole life as long as they're playing. I'm a 50-year drummer. I've been drumming for 50 years. Guess what? Every year I get better. It's hard to believe, but I keep practicing. It's the same with chiropractic. I know moves that I didn't know when I first graduated. I know ways to lightly, gently, effectively work on the patient to move the bone that's locked, that's causing pain, that's tender to the touch, that's clamping on a nerve, that's literally causing the joint to dry up and become arthritic. I know gentle, very gentle, accurate ways to move that bone forward back into its normal position, stopping inflammation in its tracks. And literally, that's the art. It can be supine, it can be prone, it can be seated, it can be on a constant kneeler, it can be on a drop table. There's so much technique, and the technique is the art, the application of the adjustment. And there's a great quote in this book, To Heal a Nation. There's a great quote about never denying or never not believing in the adjustment, because the adjustment always works, but maybe just the application. The technique, the adjustment always works. And if you don't get results, for one, healing takes time. And for two, never doubt the power of the adjustment, just the way it was applied. Maybe it was the wrong level. Maybe the level that needs to be moved hasn't been moved yet. Give it time. But the body always heals once that adjustment is given. And so the art is the application of the adjustment. The science is passing all the classes to be able to get to work on the patients.
And what is the philosophy of chiropractic?
The philosophy of chiropractic
the third pillar, I guess.
Well, the philosophy of chiropractic is quite simple. I'll try to show you a little picture here that the brain, the spinal cord, and all the nerves control and coordinate every single organ, tissue, cell, gland, muscle, skin in the whole body. So let's take that a little deeper. Universal intelligence, I call it God. I call it God. Universal intelligence bestowed upon us innate wisdom. That innate wisdom is our brain working on autopilot, controlling and coordinating all functions in the human body. These neural electrical impulses are flying up and down my spine, out all of my nerves, controlling thousands of programs all at once. Right now, I have comprehension programs, sitting posture programs, heartbeat things are happening, body temperatures, digestion's happening, comprehension. There's so many programs being run right now, and it's all done by the brain, spinal cord, and nerve. So the principle of chiropractic is that universal intelligence gave us innate wisdom, and that innate wisdom is designed to flow and to suit us to the environment. Not that we're weak and that we need some type of outside in agent, take this pill to be healthy, take this shot and put it inside your body to be healthy. No, it's inside out. Above is the brain, flowing down is the spinal cord, and from the inside out, the nerves flow. So there's the spinal cord, and there's the nerve, and so flowing out. And when there's a subluxation or a locked joint or a fixated joint, it chokes the nerve and shuts off that wisdom. And the adjustment opens up the spine and restores that neural electrical impulse back to 100%, kind of like a dimmer switch. You're putting the lights back on. So above, down, inside out, so the way the body heals, and the brain, spinal cord, and nerves control coordinate all functions of the human body. And us chiropractors are facilitators of that function by removing the distortion or the interference, clamping on the nerve, shutting down joint motion, wreaking havoc on the body. And we're basically, we go to the source. We're removing the cause. And I think all patients, anybody who watches or listens to this, should first seek chiropractic before medicine, before pills, potions, lotions, shots, bolts, screws, and laser beams, before all these harmful, invasive shots and cortisones and epidurals. It's like, stop trying chiropractic last. It should be your first resort. And you should try up to 4 different chiropractors before you leave our arena and try something more invasive, because there's so much diversity within our profession and so many different techniques that you want to find somebody who will adjust the spine in a specific manner. Okay, and that's real chiropractic. That's old school philosophy. Move the spine off.
That's what I was going to say. That a lot of chiropractors now, because I do some talks and talk to younger chiropractors, the adjustment is almost secondary to physical therapy, to massage. That's what it's taught in school now. That's what they talk about. But getting someone that can adjust you, push on bones, be confident you're going to cause a change in your body, it's becoming more rare. So people like yourself that are still into that passion of the adjustment is so important to pass on the next generation of chiropractors This is what chiropractic really is. And when I sometimes have interns from chiropractic school come to my office. I go, okay, adjust me. They go, are you sure? I'm like, because they're kind of scared. Like, no, go adjust me. I'm fine. So adjust me. Go. I always say, go harder, push harder, push harder. It's almost you, as you mentioned, getting the art to fine tune over time. Again, 22 years for me. A lot of it is it takes time to have that confidence of I can push someone's bones harder. At that point, I'm going to cause a difference physically and mentally and spiritually in their body to make their body heal properly, not just feel better, but
Yeah,
heal properly, right?
yeah. You know, you bring up a good point. The bone itself
Mm-hmm.
has these mechanisms here where if it's already in and you push on it, it will not move. These
Yeah.
facets, these facets won't allow the bone to move forward. Only if it's dislodged, okay, will that bone actually move a little. It'll move and it'll stop once it's all the way forward. And so pushing on it and it doesn't move, hey, it doesn't need to be moved. But if it's out and it moves, you just turn the power to heal on. And you know, you brought a good point up about these physical therapists. I like to use the rubber band analogy. Okay, I put a rubber band on somebody's finger and I put it on real tight, and then I asked them, okay, what can you do to make that rubber band make that finger feel better? You can put a hot water on your. You can put hot water in your. My phone keeps sliding down because it's got a wire on the bottom. It's not really standing right, so my apologies. I keep messing with it.
Right.
But a rubber band real tight on the finger starts to throb and have pain. Put it in hot water, it feels better. Put it in cold water, it feels better. That's physical therapy. Exercise it, it feels better because you're forcing blood in and out, but then the pain comes back. How about traction it? It feels better, but the pain comes back. How about acupressure or acupuncture or massage? It feels better, but the pain comes back. Chiropractic takes the rubber band off the finger. It removes the pinched nerve at the source. It should be done on a regular basis because we're bending, lifting, twisting, stooping, slouching, gravity, sleeping wrong. We have sports traumas, repetitious traumas. We've got physical, chemical, and emotional stresses that are upon us and pollutants and whatnot, and sneezing can throw your back out. You know, stay adjusted. And you stay adjusted for life, from the womb to the tomb. Brush your teeth for life. Eat healthy for life. Exercise for life. Those are the core principles that should allow us to fulfill the biblical prophecy that states the lifespan of man after the flood is 120 years. Why are we getting arthritis in our 40s? This is a neglected spine, somebody who didn't get adjusted. Okay, we're supposed to age with beautiful discs that act as shock absorbers and well lubricated. All lock spines look like this, and it only takes 20 years. This kills the patient. The Windsor autopsies, Chapter 7, they did an in-depth study, and you know, you pinch the nerve, give it enough time, the diseased organ is a byproduct thereof in death. And so chiropractic is essential for long life and a life abundantly. Okay.
Well,
It
a lot
adds,
of what you're talking about too is how do we focus on getting ourselves stay healthy, not just put a band on anything. I tell people that think about physical therapy versus chiropractic. Sometimes I recommend both. Is like you had mentioned, we work from the inside out, correct? As chiropractors, inside out. Because physical therapy works from the outside in. Which one's going to heal the body when there's an inside out problem? When you have a problem for a long time, chronic pain, at that point you want to fix the problem so it heals, not just feel better. Like
yeah,
like Didi
and
or BJ says is you want to get well and stay well. Keep it
yeah,
very simple.
and you know, I'm not knocking physical therapy. Physical therapy can remodel the scar, can make the muscle imbalance back to balance. It can give some weak areas strength again. It can help hold and aid in the correction of the vertebral subluxation. It can help correct posture and so forth. But if the spine is locked and you're ignoring it, you're doing a very large injustice to that patient. If that somebody's got an atlas that's out and they've got migraines and you're doing crystals works and hot pack works and infrared current and you're doing, you know, I don't know, inhalers and, you know, I mean, there's all kinds of witchcraft out there and, you know, crystals and whatnot. Come on, move the atlas, get the bone off the nerve first and let the body heal. And so, I mean, I can't tell you how many times I've adjusted kids with asthma.
Mm-hmm.
Hundreds of kids with asthma. And they have two things in common. The top two bones in their neck, one, two, or both, they're locked. And so when those top two bones are locked, that hole gets small. You can see it here. There's the hole where the spinal cord travels through, and you start to rotate those upper bones. You're squeezing, you're choking the spinal cord. You're lowering and diminishing that brain function, that neuroelectrical impulse, that innate wisdom. You're putting a dimmer switch on the brainstem's function, and then you lock the bone out and you choke the nerve that goes to the lungs. They get asthma. Every kid that has asthma that's come into my clinic has gotten an upper neck adjustment and the adjustment at thoracic bone number 3, 1, 2, or 3 in the back of the spine. And guess what? Their asthma's gone. Did I heal them? No. I just turned the power back on. Kid healed himself. He was wired for health. He was divinely created to have 100% function. And I just turned the power back on. And guess what? The results? Kid heals himself.
Isn't it amazing where people don't understand or have been told the body's self-healing?
Yeah, scratch your arm and then watch the scratch go away and heal itself. You know what? It's how the body works. You don't have to say, no, don't talk to me. I'm trying to concentrate on healing this scratch. No, it does it innately. It does it on its own. That's how the body works. Designed to thrive, designed to want to recover and heal. It just needs some vital components. One of those is brains, the brain, spinal cord, and nerve function, joint motion, great nutrition, great exercise. Those are the key fundamentals. You can't be chopping down a bunch of poisons and toxins and expect to be healthy. You can't be ignoring your spine and expect to be healthy. And you can't be, ignoring your exercise program and expect to be healthy. They kind of all work together.
And Dr. Trigo, is that the vital connection you talked about in your book? Is that the vital connection?
The vital connection is actually how the wires go, how the wires go and innervate every function in the body. That brain and that nerve sending those signals to control, to excite or inhibit function in the heart, function in the pancreas, or to turn on function, to squeeze and move in peristalsis into the intestines, to ovulate, to regulate, to metabolize. Everything's done through nerve impulses. And if you alter those nerve
Give me 1 second. Okay. Yeah, just the sound came off. Let's see real quick. Give me 1 second. He'll be back in a second. Lost connection. He'll be right back. The same link. That's the biggest thing I think Dr. Trigo is talking about is our body is self-healing. When we get the right nutrients, maybe movement along the nutrition to actually work better. So he's back here. Here we go. All right, my friend. It happens. We're good. We're good.
So the vital connection it's kind of like our inner healer. Our inner healer is the brain, spinal cord, and nerves, and then the vital connection is how we're actually connected to all functions of the body. That's our vital connection. And then we get into the next chapter called the silent killer. Nobody knows about it. Nobody knows that down deep below and underneath the skin, there's a locked joint crushing a nerve, shutting off that communication highway, causing the heartburn, causing the vertigo, causing the carpal tunnel, causing the scoliosis, causing the irritable bowel and sciatica and chronic cough or swollen gland or sluggish metabolism or energy loss or migraine or allergy. I mean, the list goes and goes and goes.
Well, Doc, have you had someone come in your office and say, I feel like I'm having a heart attack, but I'm not having a heart attack?
I can't tell you how often that's happened. you know, and the ribs attached to your vertebra.
Mhm.
And if that bone pops out of place, it carries the whole ribs with it. And it's called intercostal chondritis. It feels like a sharp stabbing heart pain. But it's literally a locked bone between your shoulder blades, and you get those adjusted, the inflammation goes down, the rib cage can open and close and expand normally again. And guess what? That pain is gone. One simple adjustment. It usually takes 1 or 2 settings. That's it. And patients were like so grateful that they came to the chiropractor. And guess what? They went and got the X-ray. They went and got the MRI. They went and got the EKG. They went everywhere else first, and they got everything was negative. Then they walk into my office. It's like, why didn't you just come here first? Spend thousands of dollars.
Time. Yeah. Weeks.
It's
Weeks, and
unbelievable.
even just to see a doctor sometimes takes
And
weeks to even see a
lost
doctor.
wages from work.
Yes.
So that book
Quality of
needs,
life.
the book's
I've had people
designed.
on a Monday coming Monday upset because they went to ER. ER took 3 hours to see them. They gave medication which didn't work. Came to my office. All of a sudden, within 10 minutes, they're like, "I feel much better. Why even go there?"
Why even
10
go
minutes.
there? You know, 97% of all medical doctor visits end up in a prescription, despite the trend that they're trying to disperse less opioids and whatnot, because they're getting sued, and there was a big opioid epidemic. You'll read a lot about that in Big Pharma Chapter 13. But 97% of all doctor visits end up in a prescription. Let me ask you something. If you got the cervical 5 out and it's kind of giving you a sore throat, or the next one down, number 6, and it's kind of affecting the shoulder, does that pill know to go right to the shoulder? Or is it going to just go into your whole body? Besides the horrible side effects, you know, it's like,
Well, if
hey,
you're not, I tell patients too, you're not pill deficient. That's why you're not getting better.
absolutely.
You're not Tylenol deficient. You're not Aleve deficient.
And, you know, I actually called out those non-steroidal anti-inflammatory drugs in my book: the Aleve, the ibuprofen,
Which chapter is that, Doc?
the ibuprofen, and there's 4 of them: Aleve, ibuprofen,
Tylenol?
Tylenol. No, they're all non-steroidal anti-inflammatories: Aleve, ibuprofen, Motrin, and there's one more. Anyways, those 4 non-steroidal anti-inflammatory drugs do 3 things. 1, they punch holes in your kidney. Give it enough time, you're going to be diagnosed with kidney sarcoma or kidney cancers, because there's cysts in your kidneys, and anything that's abnormal growth in a normal tissue is all of a sudden considered cancer. And so it's like, wait a minute, you're calling it kidney cancer, but the side effects of long-term use of these drugs are cysts. Why can't you just call it cysts from long-term non-steroidal anti-inflammatory drug use? So
That's bad marketing, though, Doc.
bad marketing. So they punch holes in your kidneys and call cyst. They inhibit new cartilage formation, so you can see how that knee will get worse, or that elbow will get worse, or that shoulder will get worse, because your body can't make new cartilage. And number 3, it kills the little tails on the stem cells. It disrupts the motility of the stem cells, thus they can't go and do what they're supposed to do where it's needed. That's strike 3, you're out. So I mean, stop over medicating and find the cause. We treat our cars better than our own bodies. If the engine light came on, check engine, check engine, check engine, you're going to put a sticker over it so you don't see the blinking red light? Of course
The people
not.
do, but yeah, that's not a good thing. Yeah.
Of course not. We're going to go to the mechanic, and we're going to find the source of the red light, check engine light, and get it reset and fixed. Well, do the same thing with your body. Respect your body. Stay adjusted minimum twice a month. If you're active, once a week. And find a great chiropractor that can adjust, that can just fix it and leave it alone. And exercise and eat healthy, and then get it adjusted again, and then get adjusted again. When? From the womb to the tomb. That's how long. How long do you want to brush your teeth? Well, how long do you want to keep them? Well, how about your spine? Your spine is so much more important. You can get a new tooth, but you can't get a new spine. Okay.
No.
Which one do you want? Okay.
Yeah.
I've
Yeah.
seen 75-year-olds come in and I'm their fourth chiropractor. They've retired and now they're looking for a new chiropractor and they've taken films. And I've seen this in 75-year-olds and I've seen this in
Mhm.
40-year-olds. It's not age dependent. It's move it or lose it, people. So,
I had someone come in their exactly. I had someone come in their 80s, but adjusted. She was a kid. She had back pain. She even had an oxygen tank because she was low on oxygen, but she had back pain from moving. She had moved recently, physically moved her from her apartment to a house. So I come in like I took the X-rays into my office. I go, this isn't going to be good. I took the X-rays like your spine's fine. What was your secret? Getting adjusted since she was a kid.
wow.
She says, I see
Yeah.
chiropractor. My parents had me see a chiropractor my whole life. I go, your spine is phenomenal. I'm going to use
I,
yours as a model in my office
I
to
turned
tell how
six.
she does work.
I turned 60 this year, and my whole spine looks like this. Why? I've been adjusted since I was a kid.
Mm-hmm.
I've always been adjusted. I have colleagues that adjust me. I adjust them. I
Mm-hmm.
have many chiropractors that come over to my clinic to get adjusted. Uh, Chiropractors don't charge chiropractors, so that's
No,
a little new.
professional courtesy. Yeah,
Professional or students. I have
yeah.
students that come
Mhm.
in and come shadow, and they're blown away at real chiropractic, at
Mhm.
a high volume practice, lots of patients, lots of accurate care, X-rays, marking the X-rays, looking at the X-rays, giving an adjustment, next patient. And the efficiency that they're blown away, and that we use the word subluxation. That, by the way, that word means something below the surface. Sub is locked. Okay, the act of something below being locked. It's a term given to our spine. All spines get subluxation. Here's a picture of it. Here's a kind of a picture of a
There you go. Yep.
subluxation. You can see the spine
The
and
red
what's
one. Yep, the red one right there.
all right. And all spines that are locked, give it 20 years. This is their
Mhm.
future. And it's not okay to have degenerative disc
No.
disease. And they label this as stenosis, degenerative disc disease, osteoarthritis, spurs, fibromyalgia,
Yep.
stenosis. They use all these fancy words into scaring you into some $70,000 surgery. But the truth of the matter is, not only can we help those patients, but we can prevent it. If you would have come in 20 years earlier, start young, finish strong. Don't start late. And if you're starting late, better than never.
Yeah.
Get
Yeah.
adjusted.
And go over your chapter 7 to Against All Odds. What is that chapter about?
That's an amazing chapter. Against All Odds is basically the story of David and Goliath,
Okay.
pygmy versus giant. That's an old philosophy book in the chiropractic profession.
Mm-hmm.
Big pharma versus chiropractic. And big pharma paid hospitals to not work with chiropractors. They spread rumors that we were quacks and don't work with these doctors because they're not doctors. They're nice people, but they're like ravenous dogs. And they lost $100 million lawsuit to our profession for these unsafe practices that they were, these rumors and these lies that they were spreading. They had to pay $100 million defamation suit. And you start looking at chapter 7 and it explains Masha and Dasha, conjoined twins that got sick separately. Wait a minute, I thought germs made people sick. Well, if you're a conjoined twin and you share the same bloodstream, why is it that Masha would get the mumps or the measles and Dasha wouldn't? Why would one have 103-degree fever and the other one would have 98.6? Why would one, have a respiratory infection and the sister would not? It really does challenge the germ theory. In fact, what we discovered is their spine was locked at different levels. And if you look it up in the merit chart, which shows you what nerve goes where and what your symptoms would be and so forth, it made sense that, wow, this one's tender, huh, Masha? This is number 3. She's got respiratory infections, where Dasha doesn't have tenderness or swelling at that level and doesn't have respiratory infections. And so it was related to their spine. And there's a Chicago medicine, double-blind, placebo-controlled, peer-reviewed study on high blood pressure. They used 4 groups,
Huge.
real adjustment, a fake adjustment, the real blood pressure medicine, the fake blood pressure medicine, all four of them. No groups knew who was getting what. It was a double-blind, placebo-controlled, peer-reviewed study, and placebo-controlled. And what they found is the one adjustment on the atlas, the real adjustment, lowered blood pressure by 17 points for the whole 8 weeks. Wow. Why didn't that make the paper? The other three, ineffective. Very little change in blood pressure. So I am on the website for the Department of Transportation. And my philosophy of chiropractic is strong, powerful, and educated. I have to test drivers, strength and ability to drive a big rig and make sure they're not going to stroke out or have a diabetic problem when driving. And so it's called, a certified medical examiner. I've had patients come in and they check their blood pressure, and it's way up there. I mean, I'm not going to give this guy a 2-year. There's no way I can give this guy a 2-year certification with this blood pressure according to this chart. I feel their atlas. Doc, that's tender. Take an x-ray and I show them how their atlas is out. I point to the chart and show how if the atlas is out, it causes high blood pressure. I'm going to charge you for an adjustment also, but then we're going to recheck your blood pressure. Do it, doc. And I adjust them and recheck it. 40 points it dropped. Now, it's a digital reading.
Yeah.
He saw it. I saw it. It's not one of those, guessoscopes where you gotta, hear it. It's a digital reading, and he saw it. I saw it. He was wowed. Obviously, he became a patient. But the Chicago study was one adjustment over 8 weeks. Imagine if they got one a week. Wow, they would see the numbers I saw. I did it back to back on a Monday and a Tuesday, back to back DOTs, back to back results like that, where the blood pressure dropped tremendously. So why are people with high blood pressure settling for drugs for the rest of their life? Those drugs are very harmful. They're going to shorten your lifespan. Don't you think there's a natural way to handle that? Through nutrition, exercise, the adjustment, drinking more water, the best blood thinner on the planet. There's other ways. And so this book is full of natural remedies, toxicities, deficiencies, alphabetizes every vitamin and mineral, what food you can eat, what it's for, what is it, how much you need to eat and what it's for in our body and why it's important to have that and the source of the food that it's in and so forth. And so, chapter 7 really identifies with, a lot of case studies, a lot of facts, a lot of stuff that really, how many hours a chiropractor has to go to school, which is surprisingly more than MDs, and the hours that we take. We're all anatomy, nutrition, and did you know 5% of all medical schools, only 5% teach nutrition. So that means 95% of the doctors out there, the medical doctors, don't know anything about physical therapy, don't know anything about x-ray, and they don't know anything about nutrition. It's not in their curriculum. So how can they recommend a natural fix if they've never been taught it? They just go to the prescription pad. That's what they've been taught. So
it's almost just saying that now medical doctors are naive. Then how are they supposed to educate their patients if they're naive already? Unless you do some other education, which they're not going to do. They can just do this all day long and pick whatever medication they want for the patient.
Yeah, and I'm not saying, hey, don't go to your MD. MDs save lives too. They're not bad people. They're doing the best they can, and they save thousands of lives. But I give this analogy. Okay, if your house is on fire, okay, who are you going to call? The fire department. And they show up with their axes and their hoses, and they put a hole in the roof, and they knock down walls, and they squirt everything down, and it's a disaster, but they save the house. Okay, that's the hospital. That's an emergency. That's the MDs. But if you want to remodel your house, okay, fix it all up, you're going to call the fire department because it looks pretty funny with their hoses and axes. No, you're going to call the chiropractor. And we are like the carpenters. We're going to show up and fix the nutrition problem, fix the spine, get all the nerves firing again, give you back joint motion, get you on an exercise program. And we are the wellness doctors. And if you actually seek prevention, that's the best. Prevention is the best. Don't wait for disease. Don't wait for the fire.
Yeah. And you're helping people understand there's a better, different way. I think a lot of people like to stay naive sometimes. Once they're sick, once they feel a problem, they go, now what do I do? You're helping people that teach them how to get better for one, then hopefully, and God willing, they're going to tell people, hey, don't wait. Go see a chiropractor first before the MD, before you're on medication for 3, 4, 5 months and getting less healthy versus more healthy. You're being that voice that most people in general, even chiropractors, are willing to put their name and their person, their reputation out there, which is phenomenal because you can back it up. You had mentioned with evidence. Here's the evidence. Here's why. Here's why. Here's why. Here's the research. Here's why. It's not just me saying it. Look at the research
Look at
from
the
decades
research.
of research.
Yeah, and so chapter 7 is full of beautiful, research and case studies and facts, and it makes it really fun to know it's not just an opinionated book. I had one person do a Amazon review,
Yeah.
and she wrote that she fact checked. Dr. Trigo makes a lot of claims, and I fact checked him, and you know what? He was 100% right on all of them. I
Like
was very
perfect.
impressed. I was very
Perfect.
impressed, and I'm like, right on. This is Gloria M. was that review, and it just cracked me up because, none of this is opinion.
No.
It's all been very researched, and I put a lot of work into this book to educate the masses, and I was gonna talk about insurance ideology a little bit.
Number chapter 14, correct?
Yeah, chapter 14, insurance ideology. Now, what is health insurance? Okay, there's a health insurance should be that thing you have for crisis only. There's a big event that happens, and the health insurance is there for you. Kind of like a trauma care or that big event that all of a sudden the heart this or the brain that, you got to go to the hospital and that insurance pays for it. But then again, it shouldn't be called health insurance. That's called sickness insurance, right? That's not health insurance. That's sickness insurance. So trauma insurance, sickness insurance. What is health insurance? Health insurance literally should be weekly chiropractic visits. Should be going to the dentist as often as you need it. They should be paying for your gym membership, and you should have some type of online required nutrition classes that you have to pass. And wow, now every time you go to the gym, you take your insurance card and swipe through the little terminal. Wow, they see you're going. They see you going 3 times a week, lower premiums. Wow, you're going to the gym 5 times a week, even lower premiums. This is healthcare. Healthcare is chiropractic, nutrition, and exercise, and dentistry, not pills, potions, lotions, shots, bolts, screws, laser beams, opioids. Come on, that's sickness care. I'm tired of it. So the whole ideology of healthcare needs to be revamped. It needs to be changed, and we need to ask for it at the legislative level. We need to demand that it pays for our gym. We need to demand that it pays for nutrition and chiropractic and dentistry, and we would have a well nation. We would have so many less emergency events because we're proactive and we're preventative, and we're using that wisdom that's been given to us, that innate wisdom to maximize our function at all times versus the opposite, which is disease and death.
And one doctor mentioned this way, where if we treated healthcare like meritocracy, where we, like you said, rewarded with lower premiums by working out, by eating healthier, by making sure our blood work is right, making sure everything is inside right, at that point that would motivate people. Hey, I'm paying less money if I actually stay healthy, versus if I don't do anything, take the pills, I get paid the same money no matter what. So you're motivating someone to get healthier for their benefit, but also the benefit of having less money taken out of their check, out of their pocket, out of their bank by making sure they get healthy. Don't a lot of, at least I do it on my end. A lot of seniors are thinking longevity, right? A lot of seniors, they're in 70s, 80s, 90s. How do they live a few more years? How to have a better quality of life? They worry about their diet, nutrition, their movement, not about how many pills they take. They worry about what I can do at home to stay healthy. I think that's the key when you think, if I was 70, 80 years old, I want to live longer, even though I'm healthy now. How do I live even longer? And I think when someone who's in their 30s, 20s, and 40s think about that, they can actually prevent problems from happening by thinking of the future versus right now.
Yeah, and so it's the compound effect, and I explain that a lot in my book. And if you go to the gym, on a regular basis, there's a compounding effect it'll have on your fitness and on your psyche and on your confidence and on your tone and on the way you feel about yourself and how the others look at you as your muscles grow and you get tone and you get better and better and better and better and better shape the more you go. Well, same with saving money. Same with taking care of your spine. Same with taking care of your teeth. Same with relationship building and pouring into your spouse. There's a compounding effect. And the earlier you start, the bigger the rewards in that 10th, or not the 10th, but in that 6th, 7th, 8th decade, the bigger the rewards you'll see because of that compounding effect. And so, like I said, I'm going to be 60 and I can still play third base. I ski, I play basketball, I ride the bike, I skateboard, I swim all the time. It's like, okay, what's the difference between me and some of my other friends? They eat healthy, they go to the gym, but they're not getting adjusted.
Yeah, the one factor.
That one factor. Only 95% of the public, 5%, maybe 10% is going to the chiropractor. That means 90 to 95% are neglecting their spine because of ignorance. They don't know. They haven't been taught. So they're getting arthritis. They're getting degenerative disc. They're getting their hands to go numb. They're getting spinal fusion surgeries because that's what they recommend instead of an adjustment, that costs $40-50. They're recommending a $70,000 fusion surgery, and they have no hope. So they say, "Oh, okay, that's the way to do it. Let's put me under the knife." No, people wake up, smell the coffee. There's a better way, and it's called chiropractic. It's called accountability. It's called divine design, and the wellness principles have all been spelled out in this book, To Heal a Nation, and it's designed to educate, the doctor or the patient in a better way of living.
And you've done a phenomenal job in your book and in this interview too. You have your book on Amazon. I put the link on Amazon for your book, along with your Facebook group and also your Instagram page also too. And for one, if you're unsure and you want to be a fact checker, great. But go to his Instagram, go to his Facebook also, and see what he's done out there already to prove his point. He can walk the walk. Dr. Trigo walks the walk with his patients so they see his improvement along with their improvement. He makes sure they get better and stay better. So I love your information. We're going to have more podcasts with you too. I want to explain each chapter over time. As we end the show, Dr. Trigo, what do you want people to take action with now from reading your book or even before reading their book? What do you want them to do?
Well, it starts with knowledge, and if you get the knowledge by reading the book, that's half the battle. Then going and applying that knowledge is wisdom.
Huge.
Okay. So don't just know, hey, I need to brush my teeth every day. Do it. If you know that your spine gets locked no matter what you do, everybody on this planet has a locked segment in their spine, at least one. Most people have 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 locked segments. Okay. Don't be in subluxation denial. Get educated, read the book, take action, have zero lag time, and go to a chiropractor. Okay. If you can't find a chiropractor, TrigoChiropractic.com, Dr. Tony or Dr. Jeff will point you in the right direction. I've called people who've moved to Arizona and I go, do me a favor, give me 3 local chiropractors. And I call each one and I find out which one adjusts by hand, which one takes maybe x-rays, adjusts by hands, been in business for a while. And I'll go ahead and tell that patient, this is the one for you. Go to this guy or this lady. And so chiropractic is essential. And if you read this book, you'll learn that God loves you. God wants the best for you. He died for you, and he gave us a way of life that's supposed to be full of love and abundance and health and wellness, not disease and sickness. Big Pharma profits off most people's sickness. So don't trust in Big Pharma. They don't have your best interest in mind. Okay, a well patient is bad for their profits and bad for their bottom line. But chiropractic is a big idea, and I love BJ Palmer's big idea. It's in the book. Read it. It's huge. Lots of quotes, lots of inspiration. There's a goal setting tool that helped me decide to write this book.
Good.
Huge goal setting tool. 10 questions. I encourage you to do that. Write them down on a piece of paper, manifest those goals, and go after the life of your dreams. But it starts with you being healthy, and so you got to take care of this vessel we have. We only got one life here on Earth, and you might as well make it count. You know,
I think you've done a phenomenal job helping people understand the why, the how, and the what to get healthy. Read the book, my friends. Go to his abstract in there too. Kind of give you an idea. We're gonna do more videos about each chapter one also. But get your wow, nice necklace, my friend. That's the atlas. That's
That's
the
a
second.
silver atlas there. Yeah, what,
That's the first one.
am I a chiropractic nut or what?
He's not in a good way. I think he's very passionate, which
Very.
some people go wow, but this wow,
And that's
this
the
wow,
Paizo form. When
the
you
Paizo form, the power of the Paizo form.
that's the Paizo form. When you read chapter 6, you're going to see some wonderful case studies. How chiropractic adjustment saved the lives of many patients with many problems, and what it took, how many visits it took, the miracles that happened. It's a great chapter. The
And
power
you're
of the
one
Paizo
of
form.
probably there's I want to say over the last decades, hundreds of thousands of chiropractors that actually written a book. You're one of probably 10 that I know of. So thank you. My book comes. My Amazon says it's going to come at 10 o'clock tonight. My book, so it's on its way.
Wonderful,
On its way.
wonderful,
I'll give my review.
wonderful.
Doc takes an interview. Go to his Instagram. Go to his Facebook. Go to his Amazon. Buy the book. Read the book. But also be diligent and actually take action from the book.
Yes, and there's a Facebook group called To Heal a Nation where you'll see topics and articles and stuff that's always book related. Everything that's on that group is stuff you'll find in the book.
Learn to get healthy naturally, and it takes work. You can't read the news. You can't go out to public. It's going to help you filter everything out for you to give you the simple way to learn. So thank you, Doc. And I'm going to end the show right now, but stay online because I'm going to end the show. But thank you guys for watching, and we'll see you next interview. Thank you, guys.
God bless.
Turn this off real quick and stream and